In this lecture, I am going to tell you about the phase equilibria concept. Under the phase equilibria, we learn different types of concepts, but for this thermodynamics topic, I am going to discuss with you one special case, that is the Clapeyron-Clausius equation. This Clapeyron and Clausius equation is the combination of two different works of the scientist. First scientist is the Clapeyron and second scientist is the Clausius. These are the two scientists that contribute to development of this Clapeyron-Clausius equation. Okay, in this equation, these two scientists apply the first and second law of thermodynamics in the phase equilibria, that means the change in the state of various phenomena. These two scientists apply the knowledge of the thermodynamics in the phenomena of the change in the states. There are so many phenomena of change in the state, like the vaporization of liquid, the melting of solid, etc. We have so many phenomena. This Clapeyron-Clausius equation is divided into two parts. I am going to discuss with you in two parts. The first part is the Clapeyron equation. First part is the Clapeyron equation, and second part of this equation is the simplification suggested by the Clausius in this equation. Okay, so let's start with the first part, that is the Clapeyron equation. This equation is developed by the scientist Clapeyron. Okay, which mathematical equation I am going to derive here? In simple words, I am going to find out the quantity dP by dt. What is this? This is the simple change in pressure with temperature. Okay, this Clapeyron equation gives the information about the effect of pressure on the melting point of solid. This is the change in phenomenon related to change in state. Also, it gives effect of pressure on another phenomenon of change in state, like boiling point of liquid. So these two information what we are getting from this Clapeyron equation. In simple word, we are going to derive the relation of dP by dt. Okay, again here what is meant by dP by dt? This is the rate of, this is called as a rate of change of pressure with temperature. So in simple word, we are going to find out the rate of change of pressure with temperature. For this purpose, the Clapeyron scientists use the knowledge of thermodynamics, like first law of thermodynamics, again second law of thermodynamics, okay, this Clapeyron scientists use the law of this thermodynamics in the phenomena related to change in state, phenomena related to the change in state. Okay, the change in state. Okay, so here whatever phenomena we use here, or they consider that involve the change in the state, like vaporization of liquid. This is the first phenomena in which the change in state involved. Again, the boiling, again vaporization of liquid, then freezing of liquid, condensation of vapor. Okay, like these are the different phenomena that involve in a phase equilibria. These phenomena involve the change in the state. For example, in vaporization of liquid, the liquid state gets changes into the vapor state. In second phenomena, vaporization of liquid, here the liquid, freezing of liquid, here the liquid state changes to the solid state. In third, condensation of vapor, here the vapor phase changes to the liquid phase. These are the few phenomena which involve the change in the state. Okay, this scientist Clapeyron simply used the concept of this thermodynamics to the phenomena which are related to change in the state in order to derive the Clapeyron equation. Okay, let us see the derivation. Among this change in state, the Clapeyron chooses or consider the first change in state phenomena like vaporization of liquid. So he considered vaporization of liquid. At any stage of this vaporization of liquid, the liquid phase always in equilibrium with its vapor phase. Okay, at any stage these two phases are in equilibrium. So at equilibrium, we know that at equilibrium the change in free energy, that means delta G, it becomes 0. Change in free energy, it becomes 0. What is meant by change in free energy? Change in free energy is nothing but the free energy of final state minus free energy of initial state. That means it is change in free energy. How we can denote this? Delta, by writing the delta G. Okay, so in vaporization of liquid, these two phases are in equilibrium, but at equilibrium, at this condition, the free energy becomes 0. At this stage, here a mole of, at this stage, if you consider the free energy, okay, if you consider the free energy, here the free energy of a mole of liquid, that can be denoted by GL, okay, capital G and L is the subscript, is the same as free energy of a mole of vapor. It can be denoted by GV. Okay, at equilibrium condition, the free energy of a mole of both phases, liquid and vapor, become equal. In simple way, we can write GL, which is equal to GV. Let's write, this is the equation first. Okay, here the free energy of liquid is equal to free energy of vapor. How it is possible? Because in vaporization of liquid, the liquid and vapor phase are in equilibrium. We know that at equilibrium, the free energies become 0. At this stage, the free energy of a mole of liquid becomes same as the free energy of mole of vapor. Okay, here we will get one first equation. In next step, the scientist Clapeyron thinking about the increase in pressure and temperature. What happen when temperature increases? What happen when pressure increases? If pressure increases, there is any change that takes place in the free energy. Okay, let's write here. If the temperature that increases from T to T plus dt. At the same time, the pressure also increases. Pressure must be increases from P to dt. Okay, what happens when temperature and pressure that increases from T to T plus dt and P to P plus dt? Even though the temperature and pressure is increases, these two phases are in equilibrium. We find here the two phases are in equilibrium. The liquid and vapor phase are in equilibrium. Okay, so here is also this case happen. Liquid is in equilibrium with vapor. So here the equilibrium is re-established even though temperature and pressure increases. Okay, so here liquid and vapor are in equilibrium even though temperature and pressure get increases. At this stage, the change in Gibbs free energy is also zero, as here the equilibrium is re-established, and according to the thermodynamics, when equilibrium stage is reached, then the change in free energy becomes zero. Okay, likewise here the equilibrium is re-established. Because of that, here we also write here delta G is equal to 0. That means the free energy becomes 0. Then if temperature and pressure increases, what changes that takes place in the free energy? Either free energy decreases, either free energy increases. If free energy decreases or increases, what quantity we represent here? Okay, so free energy that is also increases for liquid. For liquid, the free energy increases from GL to GL plus DGL quantity. Again, for vapor, the free energy increases from GV to GV plus DGV. Okay, here when the temperature and pressure increases, the two phases are in equilibrium. They found the two phases is in equilibrium. Again, if the equilibrium stage is re-established, at this stage the free energy is also increases for liquid as well as vapor. But here the equilibrium is re-established. The main point is that when temperature and pressure increases, the equilibrium is re-established. That means the liquid and vapor phase are again in equilibrium with each other. At this stage, these two quantities are the same, GL plus DGL, which is equal to GV plus DGV. Let's say it is equation number 2. And when we observe the equation number first and equation number 2, then we will get a equation, that means DGL, which is equal to DGV. Let's say it is equation number 3. What it means? Here equation number 3 tell us about the change in free energy for liquid is same as the change in free energy for vapor. Why? Because when we increase the temperature, then at this stage the equilibrium is re-established, and because of that, whatever quantity we are getting, we compare. If you compare this quantity with the previous case, that means equation 1, then we will get this equation. Okay, now we are moving towards the next application. The scientist Clapeyron uses the knowledge of this thermodynamics. They start with the definition of Gibbs free energy G. We know that G is equal to H minus Ts. Let's say it is equation number 4. Again, they expand this equation like G is equal to, we have the value of EH. We have the definition of EH. EH is equal to E plus PV. E plus PV minus Ts. Okay, so E plus PV is the definition of H. Okay, we derived this from the definition of H. In next step, we are going to differentiate this equation. Okay, if you differentiate this equation, then differentiation of G is equal to differentiation of E plus, this is the product, so P constant differentiation of V plus V constant differentiation of P. Again next step, minus T constant differentiation of S minus S constant differentiation of T. Let's say this is equation number 5. So equation number 5 is the differential equation of this, okay, differential of this equation. Again we have the first law of thermodynamics. The scientist thinking about the first law of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics gives the value of Q. Q is equal to dE plus PdV. This is the first law of thermodynamics. Again the Clapeyron thinking about the second law is law of thermodynamics. What is the thermodynamic? Second law of thermodynamics? It is change in entropy which is equal to Q by T. If you rearrange for the Q, then we will get Q is equal to TdS. Okay, so here according to the second law, if you rearrange the statement of second law, then we will get a value of Q. Q is equal to TdS. Again, if you insert this value into the first law of thermodynamics, we can write here instead of Q, we also write TdS, as this is derived from the second law of thermodynamics. Here we will get the sixth equation. Okay, sixth equation is derived from the first and second law. Here we have the value of TdS. We have the value of TdS now. Okay, observe the equation number 5. Here we have the TdS. In next step, we are going to replace this TdS by this value and rewrite this equation. Then we will get change in Gibbs energy G is equal to dE plus PdV as it is plus VdP as it is, and instead of minus TdS we are going to put this value, that is the minus dE minus PdV. Okay, this is the replacement of TdS, and remaining term minus SdT. Let's say it is equation number 7. Let's say it is equation number 7. Okay, if you observe the equation number 7, then this minus dE get cancelled with this plus dE, minus PdV get cancelled with plus PdV. The remaining term are dG is equal to VdP minus SdT. So let's say it is equation number 8. So if you observe equation number 8 and rewrite this equation for liquid, then we will get dG for liquid which is equal to V for liquid dP minus S for liquid dt. Let's say it is equation number 9. For vapor, dGV which is equal to VV dP minus SV dt. Let's say it is equation number 10. As here, according to equation number 3, dG liquid is equal to dG vapor. Okay, so we are going to put the value of dGL from equation number 9 and value of dGV from equation number 10. Then we will get here V liquid of dP minus S liquid of dt which is equal to V dP minus SV dt. Let's say it is equation number 11. Okay, now we will make some rearrangement. This term we transfer to this side, then we will get positive term, the negative term become positive term, SV dt minus SL dt which is equal to, now this term get transferred to this, then we will get Vv dp, this positive term becomes minus, it becomes Vl dp. If you observe equation number 12, then here this dt and dt, so this dt, this term has dt, this also term has dt, let's make it common, dt is common, what remains in bracket, it is SV minus SL. Again on the RHS side, dp dp, this two term has dp, let's make it common, dp in bracket v minus vl. This is equation number 13. Okay, now we reach to our final goal of this Clapeyron equation, as the Clapeyron equation gives the value of dp by dt. Okay, we make it dp, okay, by dt, by transferring dt to this side, okay, which is equal to SV minus SL divided by this transfer to this side, then we will get Vv minus VL. Let's say it is equation number 14. Equation number 14. Now observe this term, bracket term, SV minus SL. Okay, if you analyze this term, this is the entropy for vapor, this is the entropy for liquid. Okay, so if you observe here, we consider the equilibrium, that is the liquid is in equilibrium with vapor. If you consider the state, find out the state, this is the state first and this is the state second. Okay, so this becomes as state second, entropy of second minus entropy of first. Okay, so if you rewrite this, if you consider this SV minus SL, it is nothing but the S2 minus S1. And what is the difference between S2 minus S1? It is the difference of entropy, delta S, and this difference of enthalpy, difference of entropy is given from the second law of thermodynamics, that is change in entropy is equal to Q upon T. But here we consider the vaporization of liquid, okay, because of that the heat absorbed or evolved by the in a vaporization, it is nothing but the Q vaporization. What is meant by Q vaporization? Q vaporization is latent heat of vaporization. Latent heat of vaporization. Okay. So here instead of this bracket, we also write the Q vaporization upon T into this equation. Okay. So we insert this value into equation number 14. Then we will get dp upon dt, which is equal to Q vaporization upon T into Vv minus VL. So this is the equation number 15, and this equation number 15 is called as a Clapeyron equation. This is called as a Clapeyron equation, and which is especially right for vaporization of liquid. Vaporization of liquid. So what information we are getting from equation number 15? Here we are getting the effect of temperature on vapor pressure of liquid. Okay, so what information we are getting from equation 15? The equation 15 give us the information about the effect of temperature on vapor pressure of liquid. Again, if you invert this equation, that means dt by dp, then it equal to T into Vv minus VL divided by Q vaporization. Then this information tell us, this equation tell us about the effect of pressure on boiling point of liquid. This is the information what we are getting from this equation number 16. Again, this is for the vaporization of liquid. if you consider the another change in state phenomena like melting of solid, जर आपण melting of solid जर consider केला, melting of solid, if we consider the melting of solid which is another change in state phenomena, then this equation becomes as dt upon dp which is equal to T into Vv minus Vl divided by Q fusion. Okay, so here Q fusion is nothing but the latent heat of fusion. Okay, so what information we are getting from this equation number 17? Equation number 17. What information we are getting? This equation number 17 gives the effect of pressure on melting point of solid. Melting point of solid. Okay, in general, if you write the equation, that is the Clapeyron equation, okay, for general purpose or in general, we write this equation as, okay, in general it is dp by dt which is equal to q upon t into this Vv, that means volume. For volume of vapor it becomes second state and this becomes first state, and this is the general Clapeyron equation. General Clapeyron equation, let's say it is equation number 18. In generally we can write Clapeyron equation as dp upon dt, that means the effect of change in pressure with temperature is equal to q. Q is the heat absorbed or evolved at temperature T, and this is the V2. V2 is the volume of final state and V1 is the volume of initial state. Now this is the Clapeyron equation, but in second stage, in second step or part of this equation, the clauses suggest some simple modification. Simple modification. What is this? They assume that the vapor follow ideal gas law. Vapor that follows the ideal gas law. That means in the vaporization of liquid, whatever vapor forms that follows the ideal gas law. If they follow ideal gas law, then the term Vv minus Vl from this equation, Clapeyron equation, from this Clapeyron equation, Vv minus Vl. Observe this term. If this case is considered in case of vaporization of liquid, then volume of this liquid is negligible as compared to the volume of the vapor. Okay, for that here Vl, that means volume of liquid is negligible as compared to the volume of vapor. Okay, so this term automatically neglected and only Vv term that remain. Let's say it is equation number 90. Let's say it is equation number 90. In next step, I am going to tell you about the next modification done by the Clausius. At first they consider the whatever vapor that involved in this vaporization of liquid that follows the ideal gas law. At this stage the volume of liquid is negligible as compared to the volume of vapor. So here we will get, so if you write the ideal gas law, at 1 mole of vapor PV is equal to RT. If you here the volume term in this equation is nothing but the VV. Okay, if you rewrite this for VV, then we will get RT upon P. Let's say it is equation number 20. Now we are going to insert these two 19 and 20 equation into equation number 15. That means we apply the modification suggested by the Clausius into the Clapeyron equation. Then equation 15 becomes as, this is the equation number 15, that means the Clapeyron equation. It is change in pressure with temperature. Here we insert the value of PV from equation number 20, then we will get Q evaporation upon T into RT upon P. Let's make some rearrangement. dP by dt, which is equal to Q vaporization as it is, multiply by P goes to here, divided by RT square, T multiplied by T square, it becomes RT square. Again we make some rearrangement, this P transfer to this side and dt transfer to this side, then we will get dP by P, which is equal to Q vaporization upon RT square multiplied by dt. Let's say this is equation number 21. Let's say this is equation number 21. Okay, observe equation number 21. In next step, we are going to integrate this equation at pressure P1 and P1 to P2 and temperature T1 to T2. Then here we will get on the LHS side integration of term dP by P at pressure P1 to P2 is equal to integration of term Q vaporization upon RT square multiplied by dt from temperature T1 to T2. Let's say it is equation number 22. If you integrate this term, then we will get log base 2E of pressure by putting limit P1 to P2. Then here this Q vaporization upon R, it becomes constant, it is constant. So again integration of multiply by minus 1 upon T, put the limit T1 T2, it is 23, equation number 23, 1 upon this is T. Now we are going to expand this. Here log base 2E of P2 minus log base 2E of P1, which is equal to minus Q vaporization divided by R multiplied by 1 upon T2 minus 1 upon T1. Again here we also write this term as log base 2E of P2 upon P1, which is equal to this term is negative, it become positive, then we will get Q vaporization upon R. Here this term goes to here, so 1 minus T1 minus 1 upon T2. So this is the equation. So this equation, let's say it is 24, equation number 24. So log base 2E P2 upon P1, which is equal to Q evaporation of R upon R multiplied by 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. Okay, so this is the Clapeyron-Clausius equation in the form of log base 2E. It is also called as a integrated equation of Clapeyron-Clausius or integrated form of Clapeyron-Clausius equation. In general, we also write, if you replace this log base 2E to the log base 210, then we will get 2.303 log base 210 P2 upon P1, which is equal to Q upon R multiplied by T2 minus T1 divided by T1 multiplied by T2. This is equation number 25. So this equation 25 is called as a Clapeyron-Clausius equation. Let's analyze the term. Here P2 and P1, these are the pressures, T2 and T1, these are the temperatures, Q is the heat either evolved or absorbed, and R is the gas constant. What is the use of this Clapeyron-Clausius equation? Okay, so if we have any four quantities then it is from this equation it is able to calculate the fifth missing quantity. Okay, for example, if you have P2, P1, T2, T1, then with the help of this equation number 25, this is the Clapeyron-Clausius equation, it is very easy to calculate the value of Q. Q is the heat evolved or heat involved, evolved or heat absorbed. Here the Q in case of change in state, it becomes म्हणजे that Q is nothing but sometime it becomes latent heat of fusion, sometime it becomes latent heat of vaporization. Okay, likewise. So in some textbooks, in some reference book, instead of Q they also write L, capital L, or they also use delta H. Okay, so if you replace this Q with L, meaning is same, this is also latent heat of whatever fusion, vaporization, whatever it may be. Delta H is for the same purpose. So equation 25 is now called as a Clapeyron-Clausius equation.